What is up, my magical friends? It's that one unicorn. So, oh my goodness, I just got to go see Interactive Introverts with Dan and Phil, and it was so cool. So I was really inspired and wanted to do this video drawing a picture inspired by it. So I hope you like it, and let's get on with the video. So before we get into this video, there are some changes in the lighting because I did a silly and recorded next to a window in the later afternoon, and obviously the sun goes down and it gets darker and it makes rooms be darker, and I did not think about that when I started recording because I thought, oh, it's fine, I'll finish recording this before the sun goes down, I won't have to worry about it. And I did not have any backup lighting, so when it obviously took me longer to record than I thought, it just got darker because I had no backup lighting. So I'm definitely sorry that the lighting changes later in the video. I will be better about that, and I will definitely make sure that I record in enough time or that I have backup lighting. But back to the topic of this video. I've been watching Dan and Phil on YouTube for ages, and oh my goodness gracious alive, I got to do the coolest thing. I got to go and see Interactive Introverts live, where they were performing right there, like in front of me, and it was such an amazing experience. Dan and Phil were hilarious. They had the most wonderful inside jokes, such as referring to the audience as the Susan. The stage setup was also really cool. They had lots of neon, including these two giant neon eyes. But when I watched the video where they were talking about setting up for the show and they had this mini set, and they pointed out these eyes, I didn't understand what they meant for some reason, and in my head I seemed to think that they meant like eyes as in EYES instead of the letter. And so it literally took until they were actually on the stage and pointed it out and said, "These are eyes that stand for Interactive Introverts," and I was like, oh my gosh, why? And I thought it was funny that I can be so dense at this kind of thing. But I was super excited to get to go and see this show, and it was so cool to see all of these other fans who also went and were also super excited to get to be there, and there was lots and lots and lots of screaming. There was such just an amazing atmosphere about the entire show, and I don't know if anyone else ever feels this way, but for me, famous YouTubers, such as Dan and Phil, seem kind of larger than life. Like, they almost don't even exist as real people, but just as their characters on a screen or something. I don't know why I feel this way, it's just something I'm always thinking about when I watch videos. And when I got to go see this show where they were right there in person, and it really shows that they are just people who can, yes, do all these amazing things, but they're real and they weren't just characters anymore, and it was so cool. And it was kind of funny. The whole time at the show, I had to keep telling myself that I was actually at the show and not watching a YouTube video of them at home, which I thought was funny that I just had to keep reminding myself because I was so amazed that they were there in person and not far away in some distant YouTuber land or something. And aside from the actual show, the merchandise they had there was really cool. The line was hilariously long, like so much longer than the line to get stuff at Hamilton, but it was great, and I loved the sweatshirts. I have a minor obsession with sweatshirts, so of course I got one, and I loved it, which is why it's what I drew in this picture. I thought it was cool, but I did realize while I was coloring this picture that colored pencils don't exactly go well with watercolor paper, which is why there are little white dots in the picture. And honestly, I was really upset with this at first, and I almost stopped recording just to redo the picture and use markers or something, because I was really upset and I didn't like it. I thought it looked amateur. But later on, as I decided to just keep going with it, I felt like I had already started, I had to finish it. It looked pretty cool, and I thought it matched the aesthetic.
And this is where the lighting changes, and as you can see, I already wrote in the letters, but it's because I couldn't record it where I do my recordings, as well as I do know that it says Interact Introvert, and that's because I didn't have room to write the whole thing, and I'm sorry. I do know though, don't point it out. I would have fixed it if I could, but I can't exactly erase marker. But I thought this looked really cool, and I hope you enjoyed this video. I don't usually record fan-base kind of drawings, but I did for this one because I thought it would be fun. So if you did like that, leave a comment below and tell me what you'd like me to draw next. Thank you so much for watching. I had so much fun filming this, and if you enjoyed this video and want to see more from me, leave a like and subscribe, and I will see you all next time. Bye!